Welcome into RAVE Church, a spiritual experience that combines the power of spoken word with electronic music, combined together to change your life. My name is Stefan. I'll be your captain for our journey today. With me in the mix, DJ Bryan Neville, and we have co-created something special for you today. I just want you to connect to yourself right where you are in this moment. It's okay to be exactly where you are. However you ended up here, however you've been feeling up to this point in the day so far, it's okay to be right where you are. And the good news is, we're gonna go on a journey together over the next few moments. And wherever you're starting from, I can guarantee you this, you're not gonna end at the same point you started. This is a clean slate family. This is a fresh starting point for you. Turn away from everything going on externally and join me right here in the present moment. Take a big, deep breath in and release. I need every single person who is watching, listening, dancing right now to share this video, share this mix. Hit that share button on this experience right now. Because the only way that good things in life expand is when we share them. Share it with a friend, share it with your community, share the love right now. So I have a little personal story to share with you as we get started today. So the other day, I was taking a train across town, and I found myself on this giant escalator going up. And I swear to you, family, this was like the largest escalator I've ever been on in my life. I'm talking bigger than the Chicago airport, bigger than the Atlanta airport. I don't think I've ever been on such a giant escalator. And I'm going up this escalator and it feels huge, it feels massive, it feels enormous. And I know this is gonna sound cheesy. I don't mean it to sound weird or ultra spiritual, but I'm going up on this escalator and I suddenly hear God say to me, this is what's happening in your life right now. And I knew that I was supposed to share that with you right off the top. I don't know who else this is for, who else this applies to, who else needs to hear this, but God said to me, this is what is happening with your life right now. You're elevating, you're going up, you're going higher, and I want you to receive that today. God said to me, I need you to know that you're expanding, you're evolving, you're transforming, you're elevating right now, you're going higher right now. And maybe the most important thing for you to know in this moment is that you absolutely should not turn around. You absolutely should not try to go back to the past. See what I'm saying? If you're following this analogy, try going backwards on an escalator. See how that goes for you. God said you should not try to go backwards to the past. And you should not look down. That's just going to scare you when in fact you have nothing to be afraid of and there is nothing to fear. So every time that we create one of these experiences, and again, a huge shout out to DJ Bryan Neville, who works with me so in depth on creating the perfect experience for all of you. But every single time, I always ask God, what am I meant to share with my RAVE church family, with my community, with my partners all around the world? What am I meant to share?
Always there when you call, always on time. Gave you my baby.
And so, as we go into this experience, I want you to know, I believe that you're not here dancing, listening, watching by accident, but I believe you're here on purpose. And there's something for you here. There's a message for you here today. There's a shift for you here today.
I'm not always there when you call, but I'm always on time. And I gave you my all. Now, baby, be mine. I'm not always there when you call, but I'm always on time. And I gave you my all. Now, baby, be mine.
And so what I felt like I was led to focus on for this particular experience is the power of your words. And so I don't know if you knew that was the theme going into this. I don't know if you're finding that out right now. But family, there is something for you here. And a lot of what is coming your way right now is around our theme today. The power of your words. And by the way, God is saying to somebody right now, I'm always right on time. You don't have to doubt. You don't have to be anxious. You don't have to be afraid. I'm always on time. I'm going to be on time for you. Your destiny is going to happen right on time. Sending love to every single person right now listening wherever you are. You know, your thoughts are powerful. It's true. Your feelings are powerful. It's true. But I felt led to tell you today, even both of those pale in comparison to the power of what you speak. That's why we're going to talk today, and I want to remind you today about the power of your words, because yes, your thoughts are powerful and your feelings are significant, but they pale in comparison to the power of what you speak out loud. I pray that you feel that today, because even as I speak this word into this microphone to you right now, I am so reminded of the power in what we speak. You know, one very famous ancient text puts it this way, that the power of life and death is in the tongue. You know, somebody asked me the other day, Stefan, if you could have any superpower, which one would you want? And if you have a fun answer or an interesting answer to that question, family, you can go ahead and let me know in the comments. But as Madonna sings over us right now, I came to tell you, you do have a superpower. You have the power of life and death, and it lives within you. It lives in your tongue. It lives in the words that you speak. Did you know they've done studies? And when water is spoken to, it changes in formation. Did you know they've done studies, and when plants are spoken to in deliberate ways, it changes how they grow? And maybe it shouldn't surprise us. You, after all, are 70% water. You, after all, are a living organism. Maybe it shouldn't surprise us that the things we speak actually hold power over our lives, over our realities, over our experiences. Why would you expect your words not to affect you? Your words can move water. Your words can move plants. Why would they not be able to move mountains in your life? Some of you don't pray because you don't think it does anything, but that's only because you don't understand the power that lies within you and the power that lies within God, that you have a permanent divine connection to. I came to tell you today the power of life and death is in your tongue. And I want to be very clear here. When we talk about the power of life and death, I don't want you to think about this as being about anybody else's reality or anybody else's choices or anybody else's life. I want you to hear this about you and your reality and your life. Because as Oprah told us time and time again, that is where your power lies. I want you to realize this power means your words have the power to change things. Your words have the power to cancel things. Your words have the power to initiate things. Are you using that power wisely? And specifically, I want to talk to you for a moment about this idea of the power of life. Because the power of life means the power to create life. And I bet a lot of you listening right now have never thought about it this way before, but go here with me for a second. As the music plays, as this joyful anthem blasts through your speakers and Madonna continues to sing. You know, a parent doesn't have the ability to control their child. Even if they wish they could, even if they wanted to. No parent is able to control their child, not really. Because we all have free will, and deep down we all know that, and yet I want you to think about this with me. A parent can absolutely create a child. A couple of parents coming together can absolutely create a child. And I know this might feel a little bit esoteric, but the reason I'm sharing this with you today is because, family, I want you to understand you were never meant to control, but you were absolutely meant to create. I want you to recognize that crucial distinction. You were not intended to control, but you were absolutely intended to create. Do you feel the difference there? And so when we talk about the power of life, we're not talking about trying to control everybody and everything. You can let go of the illusion of control right here and right now. But while you were not intended to control, you were absolutely meant to create. I dare you to create something in your life this year. I challenge you, I invite you to create something extraordinary in your life this year, family. You were absolutely intended to create. Can we say yes to less controlling, more creating this year? Would you take a second, if your YouTube is open or easily accessible, and just let me know where you're listening from right now. I love to know how these mixes become a part of your life, and I love hearing from people in countries and continents all over the world, listening everywhere from the gym to the bedroom to the car, morning drive with the kiddos, whatever the case may be. Let me know. Where are you listening right now? And I just want you to know, family, this just might be my favorite part of the entire week. So I pray that you can enjoy it just as much as I do, because I love these moments that we get to share together. It truly is the highlight of the week for me. The power of life and death is in the tongue. What are you going to do with that power? Are you remembering that you have that power? Are you taking that responsibility seriously and using it wisely, using it consciously? I love the song that's playing right now because it's all about the transition of a season. The way that transition happens and the way that it feels, the way that we let go as we move forward simultaneously. And I feel led to tell someone today, perhaps the reason that you have not been able to exit the season that you're in yet, to transition out of it yet, is because you keep telling the same story again and again and again. Perhaps it's time to let something go. Perhaps it's time to tell a new story. I feel this message for somebody today, and the way that I'm hearing it is lessons, not liabilities. You know, one of my favorite spiritual texts tells us the past is not here. The past is done. It's over with. It's not here. So the past itself does not have the ability to hurt you. Only what you do with the past can hurt you. Only your interpretation of the past. Only what you carry forward from the past can hurt you. And so I want to challenge you today. May you carry forward from the past only lessons, and may you see it that way, as lessons, not liabilities. All of those moments, all of those experiences, all of those things you went through, I pray that you can hear this and receive this and feel this today. They are lessons, not liabilities. You don't have to hold them against yourself. You don't have to judge yourself anymore. You don't have to see them as something that's going to negatively affect you for the rest of your life. Lessons, not liabilities, gifts that you can be grateful for. I pray that you recognize today that is all you have to carry forward with you from the past. The interesting thing about how we often use the past in our minds is it's often a selective remembering. Have you noticed that? And sometimes the things we forget are truly a mistake. It's almost like we take the exact wrong things forward with us. I pray that you remember who you are in this moment. I pray that you remember all that you've accomplished, that you deserve to give yourself credit for in this moment. I pray that you remember how capable you are, how strong you are, how loving you are, how powerful you are, how incredible you are. If you're gonna remember something eternally true. Remember who you are. And so another ancient text says, one day you will eat the fruit of your words. One day, you will eat the fruit of your words. Now, what's funny about this text is I used to hear it quoted and I used to think it was ominous. I used to think it belonged in a scary movie. I used to think it was like a dark cloud type of warning. One day, child, you will eat the fruit of your words. I don't know what this voice is that I'm doing today. But I actually want to submit to you today, it's a neutral truth. And by the way, this is the case for so many metaphysical truths. It's not inherently a negative one, but it's also not inherently a positive one. It's a neutral truth. You get to decide what you do with it. The choice is yours. And isn't that true for so many things, family? The choice is always yours, and you have the power of decision right where you are today. This moment is perfect. You are at the perfect starting point. It doesn't matter when this reaches you. You have the power of decision right where you are. And so we get this truth. One day, you will eat the fruit of your words. I remember the day that it occurred to me. This truth is very simply saying to us, your words are a seed. And you get to decide with what you speak the harvest that you one day will be living in. Your words are a seed. Your words are a seed. Your words are a seed. I want you to feel the potential, the possibility in that today. That's not inherently bad news, but that's also not inherently good news because, family, I don't know what you're sowing. I don't know what you're planting. I don't know what you're doing with your words. But I want you to feel the possibility and the potential that lies within this moment. What do you want to plant starting right now? What do you want to grow starting right now? What do you want to begin starting right now? Because within you lies a seed, and your words are a seed. And if you set it into motion, and you stand in it, and you hold on to the vision again and again and again, you can be sure one day you will reap the harvest. One day you will eat the fruit of your words. Jesus said it this way, that if you really believe, you will have whatsoever you say. I want you to feel the power in that. You will have whatsoever you say. Notice, not whatsoever you have thought one time, not whatsoever you feel, not whatsoever you would like. But if you own the power that lies within you and you choose to believe, you can have and you will have whatsoever you say. Here's maybe a little bit of a confronting exercise that you can do, that you can think about today. If you were to receive everything, but only that which you had spoken this year, what would you be receiving? Would it be good news? Would it be bad news? Would it be overwhelming? Would it be very good or very bad or hardly anything at all? If you were only to receive that which you had spoken up to this point in this year, what would you be receiving? Because I actually think we all intuitively know something powerful happens when we speak. Something happens. Something powerful, something we can feel, and I'll use this example to prove it to you. Have you ever told somebody in your life about a dream or a desire or a goal, and you could almost feel a little bit of fear or resistance or hesitation to say it out loud? Let me know in the comments if you've ever felt that. Why does that happen? Why do we feel that? See, I think that happens because we can feel it gets a little more real the moment that we say it. The moment it comes out of our mouth, the moment we speak it out loud, it becomes a little more real. It becomes a little more tangible. Have you ever felt that? And so for the exact same reason that we would be tempted not to speak it, that is the exact same reason we need to speak. We need to make it real. We need to say it out loud. We need to give it that life. We need to give it that energy. We need to give it that fuel so that you can have whatsoever you say. I know it's scary to admit that you want that thing. I know it's scary to tell somebody what happened to you. I know it can be scary to own that vision that God put in your heart. But I feel so strongly there's someone listening today. I don't know what it is for you, but you need to tell somebody. You need to own it. You need to say it out loud. One ancient text says, if you do not bring forth what is within you will destroy you. Somebody listening to this has been living with that weight, living with that shame, living with the heaviness of keeping it all inside. And I want to tell you today, you weren't meant to live with that. Because that text also says if you bring forth what is within you, it will save you. Which is very similar to the idea that the truth is the only thing that has the power to set you free. I came to tell somebody today, I know you're afraid of your truth, but the truth is the only thing that can set you free. That wasn't in my notes for today, but I feel so strongly to remind you that the truth has the power to set you free. It's funny how much energy it often takes for us to stay in avoidance. And I almost can feel the discomfort even talking about this as we record right now, because I know that it's uncomfortable to face that thing. I know that it's scary to get out of avoidance. But the truth is the only thing that has the power to set you free. Partners, I want to shout you out for just a moment right now and say thank you, thank you, thank you for seeing the vision and believing in this work and supporting it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, partners, for being on the journey with me. I appreciate you so much, and I bless you into 100-fold return. You know, as I was preparing for this experience, thinking about and focusing on the power of our words, I was thinking about how for thousands of years in all of these ancient Hebrew texts, there is the idea of the blessing. A divine blessing that is always there for you in the invisible realm. And it's interesting because, well, on one hand, these texts indicate that the blessing exists and it is solid and it is just there for you in the invisible realm. They also seem to make it very clear that you need to speak it. Yes, it exists, and it's permanent, and it's unconditional, and it's always going to be there for you in the invisible realm, but the texts seem to make it clear that you need to speak it. You are meant to speak it, that something happens when you speak what is yours. That somehow, in a supernatural way, it opens you up to expect more, to receive more, to experience more. And so I want to invite you to consider today, there's all kinds of goodness available for you in the invisible realm, but you need to speak it. You're meant to speak it. And when you do, it opens you up to expect more, to receive more, to experience more. I feel like I have a long list of texts that I could share with you today, and I'm feeling into where I'm meant to go, but there's just so much out there about this all-important topic of the power of our words. And another text says it this way: you will decree a thing, and it shall be established unto you. May I just say that I love that this spiritual text uses the word thing, because I use that word all the time. And I know it's not great English, it's not great grammar, it's not great vocabulary, but sometimes you just need to say a thing. And so this text says, you will decree a thing, and it will be established unto you. You know, one definition, an explanation of the idea of it being established goes like this: if you say it enough and say it frequently, eventually it becomes a common occurrence in your life. If you say it enough and say it frequently, eventually it becomes a common occurrence in your life. I feel like there might be someone listening today who thinks, Steph and I said something one time. I tried a new affirmation. I did that once, and it didn't work. Nothing happened. Nothing changed for me. And I want you to hear today the key ingredient of consistency that has to be part of the equation. Let me read this to you again. If you say it enough, if you say it frequently, I would add to this till the point that it feels normal in your consciousness. Eventually, mark my words, family, it will become a common occurrence in your life. I am living proof. I am a living demonstration of this. And there are so many things that I started speaking when I had absolutely no evidence. And they are now my reality. They are now my normal. They are now a common occurrence in my life. I also love that text uses the word decree, because there's something implied there that's very, very important. When you hear that text, I want you to realize only royalty has the ability to make a decree. Only a member of the royal family has the ability to make a decree. And so if God says to you today, you will decree a thing, and it shall be established. This is a reminder to you that on the deepest level, you are divine royalty. Receive that today. You are divine royalty. Yes, you. Every single person listening to this with me right now, you are divine royalty. And you have the power to decree. I want you to feel how simple that is, how easy that can be, how effortless that can be, just to decree. This is what I mean when I talk about the power of your words. See, when a member of the royal family issues a decree in the external, physical realm, they are not responsible to go make it happen. They are not responsible to produce it. They are not responsible to manufacture it. When a member of the royal family issues a decree, they speak it. And they know that they have just set something into motion. And it is done. And that's the power that I want you to feel, the power that I want you to claim, the power that I want you to walk in, to decree a thing and know that it is established. I really feel that this message goes out to a lot of you today, that God is saying to many people listening right now, it is not supposed to be, and it was never supposed to be as hard as you have been making it. I wonder how many things have we been trying to force or push or control, when really we have the power to decree a thing, when really we had way more divine authority within us than we ever realized, when really all we had to do was just to speak. as Whitney sings and we move into this beautiful ballad, I want to invite every single one of you connecting to Rave Church right now to open up your heart right where you are. To look to God, to open up your heart, and to be available for all the divine guidance that is here for you in this moment. I promise some of you have been stuck in a confusion and you don't have to stay there. Some of you have been making it way too hard. And God says to you today, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. I am not asking you to carry something heavy. I am asking you to hand it over to me. You know, there's a powerful truth that I want to add to this discussion, and this feels like exactly the right song, exactly the right moment to do it. Because there's a text that says, sometimes there are moments where we feel like we can't find the words. Where even if we know the power of our words, sometimes aren't there moments we don't know where to start. We don't know how to pull ourselves out of the hole we found ourselves in circumstantially or emotionally. Sometimes we don't know what to speak. Sometimes we don't know what to pray. Sometimes we don't even know where we could possibly begin. And there is a text that encourages us with the truth. Even when you don't have the words, God is speaking over you. I want you to hear that. I want you to feel that. I want you to receive that today. For the moments where you feel like you can't even breathe. For those moments Whitney is talking about and singing about where you don't have any fight left. You still feel lost. You still feel confused. You don't know how you got here and you don't know how to get out. Somebody listening today is in one of those moments, and I want to encourage you with the truth. God has got you. You are not alone. And yes, I want you to own the power that is in your words today, but I also have to tell somebody, even when you don't have the words, even when you can't find the words, even when no words seem to work, God has the perfect words, and God is praying over you. God is speaking over you, even right now as you hear this. And I actually believe, family, one of the most powerful things in the world is when you don't know what to do and you don't know how to shake the place you're in, you don't know how to move forward, when you can't find the words. I think one of the most powerful choices you can make is to let somebody else speak over you. Something that is true, something that is loving, something that is empowering, something that will lift you up, something that will remind you who you are. I pray that this mix is doing that for you today. I want you to know, for all the moments that you feel alone, for all the moments that you feel lost, for all the moments that you can't find the words, I am here for you, and God is there for you, and you are not alone, and God is speaking something over you, even in and especially in those moments. And I am going to be here whenever you need, whenever you want, speaking to you, for you, over you. The most empowering consciousness. I'm not here to speak for you, but I'm here to speak over you until you're ready to speak yourself. And I pray that you get there by the end of this mix. One of the most life-changing things I've taken on is the practice of waking up in the morning and speaking something over myself. I pray that by the end of this mix, maybe the first time, the second time, the third time, whatever you need, that you're ready to speak something over yourself. And no matter where you find yourself in this moment, let this song speak to you, speak over you right now, child of God. One day you will look back on this season of life and say thank you for it, even if that's hard to imagine right now.
And everything you've lost, God will restore.
And I know your strength is almost gone.
I promise you, you have not lived your best days yet. They're still in front of you. You have not lived your best days yet. Nothing that you have been through will be wasted, family. I pray that you receive that today. Not a single thing will be wasted. It's all coming together. It's all working together for your good. Receive these words right now. Let this wash over your soul. There is so much joy on the other side. There's so much happiness on the other side. You're going to be so thankful you kept going. I see you on the other side, and there is power in my words. So I dare you to latch your faith onto it right now. I see you on the other side, family. Thank God you decided to keep going. Thank God you decided to show up one more time. Thank God you didn't give up on that vision.
All the tears you've cried, they were all worth it. The pain wasn't wasted. God had a purpose. When you look back at today,
We're stepping into a new story today, family. It's time to change the script, to change the narrative, to change the conversation. I did a post recently about forget the former things. Do not dwell on them because God is doing a new thing now. Change up the narrative. God is doing something new. It's time to step into it. It's time to start talking about the new. No more dwelling on the past. No more staying stuck in that old story. No more looking back there. I love that this song is somebody owning it for themselves, because it only works if you own it. It only works if you believe it.
Straight out of the darkness and right into your flames. It's hard to be asleep when the night keeps calling your name, and you want to shout it all over again, again, and again. Yeah, I'm about to lose myself, so mama, can you hear me? Oh, tell me it's okay.
I pray that this song hugs you right where you are, like a divine embrace.
Need you to believe again, 'cause I see the better days.
I decree and declare you move forward from this experience, speaking life, speaking a new story, creating worlds with your words.
We're gonna make it there. Yeah, I swear. In a world of searching, so quick and like it on technology, everybody's finding.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what he said or she said or they said. It matters what you say. The power of life belongs to you. The power to create belongs to you, lives within you.
Can we meet there halfway?
It matters what you say.
Take you there. I'm gonna take you there.
What are you gonna say, family?
I see them better days ahead. We're gonna make
What are you going to decree? What are you going to set into motion? What are you going to create this year? You're more loved than you realize. You're more powerful than you realize. All things are possible for the one who believes. And you are the one. This is Rave Church. Well, this is your captain speaking, and we have officially arrived and made it to our destination. If you are still with me and you're listening to this point in the Rave Church experience, I would love it so much if you would take a second and just leave a comment and say hello, letting me know that you were here. I'm gonna take a risk here because this might come out weird, this might sound strange, this might sound funny, I don't know, but even though my brain can read the number and the data and the statistics of exactly how many people consume each experience that we put out on various different platforms. Even though I can see it, even though I can obviously access those numbers, sometimes it's hard for my brain to process it. Sometimes it just doesn't feel all that real or tangible when it's just a number. The most emotionally impactful thing for me personally as a creator is not a stale number, but rather the most emotionally impactful and the most important thing to me is one person at a time whose life is being impacted. And so even when it's just 5 or 10 people that decide to leave a comment and say, I was here, here's where I listened to this one, this is what spoke to me in this one, I just want you to know from the bottom of my heart, those comments really do mean so much to me. Thank you to DJ Bryan Neville for, as always, an incredible mix. And as always, he is linked down below. If you have an event, particularly in the Southern California area that is coming up, I recommend him 1,000% for whatever your DJ needs may be. And now, as we wrap up today, I want to invite you to stay with me till the very end. I feel like somebody who has to give the announcements at church, asking people not to flee to the parking lot quite yet. But listen, I really do want to invite you to stay with me to the end. And I will make a confession here and say, just the other day, I was listening to a podcast and it felt like the episode had wrapped up, and I looked at my screen and I thought, oh my God, 8 minutes of just commercials? I'm definitely not listening to that. And so I want to admit that and say, I totally understand moving right along and not sticking around for the ads. But the reason that I always invite you to stay to the end is because these are not, in fact, commercials or ads that I have to read. But really, the truth of the matter is, everything that I do with you in mind. Every single piece of content, every single talk, every single experience, every single partner note, every single message. I do it all with you in mind, not just to make content, not just to get engagement, not just to add to the noise, but I do it thinking of you. That's why, again, the comments mean so much to me, to let me know that it really did find a place in your world and make an impact in your life. And so, as always, I want to give you a couple of possible next steps, a couple of ways for every single person listening today to get connected. And they may not all be for you. That's totally okay. But I always like to offer them for whoever may be resonating with this and ready to go deeper. So, invitation number one that I want to offer to you is, if you have not heard any of my teaching, and if we are not connected on a consistent basis, I would love to send you my favorite teaching of all time. It is absolutely free. It is my gift to you, and you can get it online at lovegrove.club. The link should be in the episode description here as well, lovegrove.club. If you were to ask me, Stefan, if you could only give one message, one talk to people all around the world, what would it be? I would honestly tell you, this just might be that talk. So, lovegrove.club if you want to get that as a gift and get connected so that you can receive messages from me on a continual basis. Invitation number 2. I want to say thank you, partners, for your support of my work and for making experiences just like this one possible. And I want to give every single person out there an invitation to join us if this work speaks to you. If this is a well that you draw from, and this is something that feeds your soul, we would love to have you in the family. I would love to be in partnership with you. You can get all the information about that and watch my entire teaching series that introduced this to begin with online at lovegrovepartners.com. Now, let me be very clear. I am not interested in anybody giving from a place of guilt or obligation or pressure of any kind. As I have told clients many times over the years, generosity is only truly generosity when it is a joyful, conscious thing. But I will promise you this, if you do feel called to give here and you can support this work joyfully, it will be one of the best decisions you ever made. Case in point, there are literally people who have given to support this work as many as 25 to 50 times or more at the time of this recording, because that is how much it impacted their life. That is the impact that they felt from their giving. It was such a sound decision and investment that they just couldn't help but want to return and do it again and again and again. We are working here with timeless principles that have worked for thousands of years, and I can assure you, this is good ground. This is a great place to sow into if it is in alignment for you. And if you do feel called, just know that you are partnering with love, partnering with goodness, partnering with prosperity. And the worlds of the generous will only get larger and larger and larger for you. So I'm stopping myself from going on too much of a soapbox there, but giving is one of the most powerful things I know in the entire world. Partners, I love you. If you are becoming a partner today, please, please, please email me at the address on that website and let me know. I want to personally welcome you, celebrate you, and pray for you. Last but not least today, I just want to invite you to pause and take a moment and ask yourself, is there somebody in my world who could use some love, use some encouragement, use a personal check-in from me right now? I'm not going to get overly heavy or dark here, but I will tell you the statistics make it very clear. There is an epidemic of loneliness in our world right now. And as someone who is doing this work in the world, I will tell you, there are a lot of people who feel alone and feel discouraged and are feeling very, very hopeless right now. Now, I can't reach every single one of them. You can't reach every single one of them with love and hope and possibility. But when we work together, we can sure reach a whole lot more people, and we can sure add a whole lot more light to the world. And so I always like to give people a moment just to pause and ask, is there anyone who needs to hear from me now? Who needs some love, who needs some encouragement? And if someone comes to mind, would you be the light in their world? If it resonates, you can send them this mix, but to be honest, I don't even care if you do it that way. You can even just send them a text and say, I love you, I'm here for you, I'm so grateful that you're in my life. But just know, you have way more power than you realize to be a beneficial presence on this planet. All right, that is truly where I'm going to leave it today. Thank you to my core people, my loyal people who really did stick with me till the end, or anybody who just couldn't find the controls, couldn't access the remote, and so you had no choice but to let it play. Either way, I love you. I am so grateful for you. As I said, this really is the very best part of my week. I love Rave Church, and I love that you're a part of it. So make sure that you're subscribed. I will see you back here very soon. Remember, I believe in you, and I always will. The best is yet to come.